is the Aqua Sensory Podcast. I'm your host, Jo Wilson. In this show, you will learn all about sensory harmony in water for babies and the early years. Because when we grow to love, connect, and respect water, learning follows naturally. Today, it has been such a treat to connect our international communities together. Monika has so much passion and expertise. In today's podcast, we talk about her shared experiences from over 30 years and her favourite swim practices, particularly for music in the pool, which of course is one of our passions here at Aqua Sensory too. It's a delight to connect. Welcome, Monika.
Hello, Jo. It's very great to be here with you. I'm very pleased and honored to be in contact with you and your beautiful community.
Oh, you're welcome. I love the fact that we are in different parts of the world, but we are so connected with our communities. I'd love to share more with everyone about your fantastic work.
Thank you. I think it's amazing that we can connect to each other from very far apart, but there is this beautiful one thing that joins us, that is water and aquatic education and children and all the benefits that we can get from water to all the people that we are able to work with.
Let's dive in deep and share so much more about your wonderful work at your swim school.
Yeah, I'm based in Chiapas, which is one of the southernmost states. It's next to Guatemala. So it's a beautiful place with seaside, highlands, and rainforest, jungle. The Mayan culture was settled here also. So I'm very down south. And it's beautiful people over here.
Yeah.
So we are far away from UK, but I'm very happy to be here with you, Jo, today.
And you do such wonderful work at your swim school, but also providing the education side to the aquatic community as well. How many years has your swim school been going now?
Well, our swim schools were founded by my parents. It was 48 years ago in 1975. So they both my dad already passed away 2 years ago, and they both were physical educators and school teachers, and they had this dream to have this swimming school and swimming club. Back in the days, back in the 70s, a lot of people would drown here because we are surrounded by a lot of water, rivers, sea, and lakes. And so they thought it would be a good idea to have a swim school. It was the first swimming school in the state and one of the first swimming schools in this area, in this part of Mexico, and also a swimming club. So we do from learn to swim up to competition level, and all ages, from babies to senior adults. And it's a very nice and beautiful story that my parents did. And I really enjoy growing up in a swimming school like my sisters. We practically grew up in the swimming school, and I have been a swimming teacher for more than 30 years now. I'm 52, almost 53. So yeah, so it has been great. It has been a great journey, and this passion that my parents I have, I love to do this. And since when I was 10 years old, I will be my dad's assistant teaching swimming. Yeah. So I will be making the examples, making the streamline and all that, to show the proper technique or the moves or the position, body position and stuff. And I found it very, fun, interesting. Yeah. It was good for me. And so I was studying in college, and I was already having this career aside, technical career as a swimming instructor and swimming coach. And it has been wonderful. So now I have my own swim school It's the same
Yeah.
brand, but it's
Yeah.
my own school. And
how do you say it? Aquacity.
Aquaticity, no, this is what I do for helping other teachers, like to train them and to help other teachers and swim schools. But our swim school is named El Delfin, which is the dolphin. El Delfin.
Beautiful.
And, yes, and El Delfin, and with El Delfin we have gone like very far, and it's very well known in all Mexico, and we are happy. Like we have a lot of national champions, and some have been represented Mexico in international meets. But we have a lot of students that have become doctors or mothers or fathers. That's, I think, the best are not the medals, but this grain of sand that you put in the development of all these kids that now are parents. We are now serving the second and third generation of swimmers.
Wow, what a legacy for your family, and then for you to take on. Wow, that's absolutely beautiful. We share similar passions, but let's talk about how you teach little ones. How would you describe your approach for learning to swim?
Well, we like to think as the aquatic activity that we do in our swimming schools, not a mere or not just something like it's physical, but something that can help develop the whole child. And we pay a special attention to develop these other areas, not only the physical one. So we are talking about the social part, the emotional part, and the cognitive. So we all know, how this wonderful world in the aquatic world can provide to nurture and to help little babies, little kids, and young adolescents and teenagers and adults, to help improve their quality of life, and also to help them grow in a very nice way, because water is such a magical element. It really helps us. I know that we prepare ourselves, we study, we do research and everything, but a lot of what we do is because of the water, which is a wonderful teacher for all of us. So for us, it's very important to consider this wide range of focus focus in our classes. We just don't want them to learn how to move through the water, but we want them to really take advantage of all the benefits that water can bring, and all the interactions that happen in the water with their parents and with the other adults, with the other babies, and with the teachers in the water. So I think that's the approach to develop the global child. And of course, when they are getting older, is to have like healthy habits. Do you say that in English? Healthy habits. And for the people that is like for adults and for senior adults, to have a better quality of life. Now we know that if you want to have a healthy brain, and when you are, like a senior adult, you need to move. So water is a wonderful space to move.
I'm so glad you said that. That's perfect in every way. We are also massive advocates in child development in water. And as you say, crossing all of the brain domains. That's why water is so natural and it's such a beautiful platform. But let's talk about music. One of your specialities is adding rhythm and music in the pool. What are your shared experiences and favorite practices? Let's let everyone know.
Well, yes, it's one of my passions. I think music is very dear for many people. Like, we all recognize their benefits, and And there's a lot of people doing music or playing songs or singing songs in their programs. And I really, like 20 years ago, I started thinking like there must be a different way to do this, because I found myself, I have to be honest, I found myself doing like a playlist in my swimming session, you know? You go from one to that one to that one. And I thought, no, there must be something better to do. So I started to read, research, and I started to learn about music therapy, this medical area that it helps people with normal people and also people that is ill with the special needs to help them to have a better quality of life, and learn more about it and see how the music can have this great impact in the person. And we all know it because we have feel it when you listen to a special song, or when you remember, everybody remembers a song that they perhaps a song that your mother or someone sang to you when you were little. But it's sometimes it's very necessary to study and to research and to really see how it works, so we can put it in place in a better way. That is something that you are doing gratefully with Aquasensory and all this neuroscientific or neurosciences applying to water. So I came out with some ideas and I have many, and I love not only to do like the passive way of doing is when you play music, and the active is when we sing. But in my teachers, there are some of them that are not very musically inclined. So I would love to sing. I like to sing, but some of them, they don't. So you have to get these, like tricks or ways to do it in a practical and in the same time effective way. So I will say that one of the best or one of the most important contributions that I have done to our community of swimming teachers is the using of musical motifs. Musical motifs is a short idea in a song or in a musical piece that is repeated once in like many times. So instead of singing a whole song, I would just use the musical motif. And that is great because, the songs can be used to define a part of the class, like starting and finishing or doing one activity and changing to another. And sometimes if you sing a song, first of all, it can be difficult for parents to learn if it's a new song, for example. And you use a motif, and instead of singing, you just are humming, it's easier. And if you use songs or piece of music that are, world famous, it will be very easy. So there are a lot of things that we can do in the water. And I was very inspired back in the 90s in one World Aquatic Babies Congress in 1997 in Oaxaca, here in Mexico. And was this teacher from Japan. She had a program named Aquamix. And this Aquamix program, it was more like a music class in the water. So the kids would learn the notes and everything, and it was wonderful. And we see, for example, in Italy, our friend Ugo Lavalle, he plays the guitar. And depending on how you're doing is the impact that you're going to have in your class. So it's better when you do it with your voice, or if you play something, than just playing the music. That is good also. We want to use music to calm anxious parents. We want to use music to relax. And we all know that in order to be able to enjoy the experience and to learn, we have to be calm and we have to be happy. And music can play a very important role to get everybody, parents and babies, and little kids in the mood to learn, in the mood to enjoy the experience. So that's what I do. I use songs and I use musical motifs a lot, and I try to have fun, and I try to always learn, and I always try to see what everyone is doing. I remember Marion Falsider from Austria. I met her years ago, and we were in a congress, and I gave this talk about. It wasn't about music, but in my talk, I sang a little bit, and she went and she gave me her CD. Back in the days, there was CDs.
Yeah.
You know, she has songs for all her swimming class. And here in Mexico, we had someone making cassettes. You remember the cassettes?
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
So someone that made 2 records of little songs for swimming classes. And I know in Australia and many other places, there are swimming schools that create their own, music. And so it's wonderful. And, if we go deeper, we know that maybe rhythm and music, it was a key element to join us as a group. And maybe there is this hypothesis that help us to thrive and to have success as a species. So if we go beyond and we talk about rhythm or swimming classes, even though if you plan it or not, it has a rhythm. And we have to be very careful what kind of rhythm we are putting there. And what you are doing in aquasensory pays a lot of attention on that. And that's what I really like your program.
Yes, I think you're right. We all have an internal tempo, and when something feels a little out of sync, it doesn't feel internally very nice, does it? If the music is going on and it's too fast and we're going fast, the babies in particular like everything a little bit calm and slow. And when we need a little bit more, of course we can pick up the music more. I remember, Monika, a few years ago you were doing a beautiful presentation and there was a waltz in the pool, and it was like a really beautiful water dance. I could really feel into that, how you can change the tempo of the class by music and rhythm and song. And as you said, something that would work so well with children that really, really needed routine. Perhaps when toys were going away, to have their own tidy up song each week, or another song that signifies a particular time in the lesson. Because some children really do struggle with transitions, don't they? And how about using music to help and facilitate that? That would be really, really beautiful.
Yeah, it's very useful, and it's in a very nice way that they learn that there is this transition.
Yeah.
And also I have found, like, we have using this musical therapy interventions and using the music in this soft way, it has helped us. For example, it's an example, the back floating, that when they are too little, they are very comfortable floating. And when they are reaching this stage, when they are getting this vertical position time, they don't want to be in their backs anymore. So if they have been doing this, enjoying this activity of floating with this singing and this music, when they get to this stage or this time, they recognize that, okay, they don't feel comfortable anymore to be in the back because they want to see the world like this, the excitement to see the world like this. But they remember that when they were in the back, it was pleasant. So I have seen and I have measured how long it takes to my kids, to the babies that have been swimming since very early, and they don't take too long to refuse to be in the back and enjoy it. And that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful. I think since we know that it's a position that it will help them to have their airways free, but in a way we don't want to force them to be floating on the back just because of what is safety, you know. And so it's good that that we can have these applications, I think.
Yes, I love that. I think you're right. That little ones do really struggle sometimes on their backs. And again, introducing music, that's really, really perfect. It helps so much. Now, the water work you mentioned about airways and safety, it's always a hot topic, isn't it? Water confidence in introducing submersions to babies in a baby-led way, as opposed to a survival force way. Do you have any top tips on how we can help our little ones get used to the water for all our listeners?
Okay, I think it's very important to have a respectful way to introduce water to the babies. I think one of the guides or key elements for our programs, it will be to have like well-being, to have a place where you feel well and that you can grow, and a place that you feel safe and happy. And if we do activities that don't go with this, actually it's not good for the baby and it's not good for the family. I have always think that the activities that we do in the water is something that I share with my students, other swimming teachers, students, is that water brings an oasis of well-being for the babies, the kids, and their families. And we have to be careful. So when we want to introduce like submersions or immersions, however you call it, we have to be careful. We have to really allow the baby to learn to have this sensory input about the water in all the parts of the body, so it can develop body image and have water in the head, in the back, in the neck, maybe in the cheeks, and see how it's reacting. And we don't want to do submersions to, well, I don't do submersions to babies that are not ready. If they get a little water, if they have these tonic reactions, is that well?
It's a little bit of a reaction, definitely.
Yes, and we want them to be exposed to the water. And we know that there are babies that come from the first lessons that they come, they are so happy and they are willing to dip their head in their face in the water, but there are others that don't. So we have to allow this to develop in a respectful and in the baby space. And once the baby feels happy and is curious and that it doesn't have these reactions, what we do in a program is we provide these situations that when the baby can choose to go. So it could be a platform, many teachers here they know provide a platform. It can be, the edge or a piece of equipment or the hands of the mommy or the teacher to, give that, that launch, or how you call it?
Little launch.
Little launch and to go and enjoy it. And because there is a say here in Mexico that it says that not because you wake up earlier, sunset is going, no, not sunset. Not because you wake up early or earlier, sunrise will do. I don't know if it makes sense. In Spanish makes a lot of sense. it's like you want to, like speed up the process and want to get there like faster. Like for many swimming teachers, it's a lot of stress. I have to get this baby down and I have to get this baby to learn to have submersions because that will prove that I am a good swimming teacher. But no. There is no proof that submerging earlier it will be in advantage in the future. So there's no use to rush this. That's my personal opinion. And that's what we follow here in our swim schools.
Perfect. Yes, I'm with you. I believe you can't rush child development, and when it comes to safety practice, as you say, we really do need our practice to be at the child's place, because you know, if you do force it and then down the line they'll start to say no, thank you very much, and of course that's the last thing we want, is for our children and babies not to enjoy the water and learning to swim. Monika, you have so many beautiful ways that you educate swimming teachers and their programs in the Spanish speaking countries. Now, if I was to ask you your elements to be what to have in an effective baby program, what would you say?
Well, I think like the first one, it will be the principles. Like principles is very important. Like it's like the base or the foundation of what we are doing, no? And I think that we need to empower and to have very good communication skills. And we need to consider family as a special, family, not just the baby. And I think like the other one, it will be to learn about techniques. And I know that it can sound like too, I don't know what word to use, but we need to be technical. We need to know about like how to handle the babies. We need to know all these things. It's very important. And it's also important for us as baby swimming or toddler or little children teachers to have an idea of what is the final, like how are the strokes. And it can be a bit of like, I am a baby swim. I am a baby swimming teacher, not a stroke teacher. Yes, I know. But it's important to know what is the final movement or what is the final desired swimming technique. I tell you why. We know these mirror neurons. And if you have a toddler or a preschool kid that is coming to the swim school and you have a teacher that will show a proper streamline, we also know that babies, they have their head too big and they won't be able to do a streamline. But if you do, and if you show the gesture or the motor movement exactly how it is, they will learn. And when they are preschool, they will be able to do it. And when they are at the school age, they will keep this elasticity, and it's wonderful. They are learning, they are seeing how it is. It's not that we want them to do it properly from when they are too little, but we want them to see how it's correctly done. And perhaps we have this focus because we have babies up to the competition level, because that's why perhaps we have this, we pay attention to these details. And I say technique, I say principles, technique, and another ingredient or another key factor I think will be sensitivity.
Nice.
We have to be sensitive, and And I think that will be some of the key factors that we need to have in our programs to be successful.
Yeah, lovely. You are so right. Parents love to know the why behind our activities, and knowing all those little swim steps to progression can really help later on, with parents thinking, why are we doing this? And particularly if they are thinking of stopping baby swimming, we can say, wow, this is great, because later on we're learning to be a really stronger front crawl swimmer. It really makes baby swimming much more meaningful, and we're really involving our parents to know the benefits of what we're doing now. And as you say, the foundation leads to so much more later on, and a lifelong love of swimming. I love the fact that you've created so many champions. Oh, congratulations. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, some of them, they keep swimming, and some of them, we have some that are in the medical school, and they come once or twice per week to swim. They didn't go to the swim team or anything, but they swam a long time when they were kids and teenagers, and then they go to university, and it's very nice to see them go back to the swimming pool to relax. And that's wonderful, because swimming is a gift of life, and it's a way of life too.
Perfect.
I'm going to pop all the links to everyone listening, and they can connect with you and your wonderful work. Oh, I feel just so privileged. And we often see each other, don't we, at different conferences. So thank you so much for taking the time to share today.
No, thank you, Joe, for having me, and congratulations for the wonderful work that you are doing, and all the impact that you are making with the sensory and aquasensory. And I really admire your work, and you are a really hardworking person. I can see it. And I wish you like many years, and I'm happy to be here with you and to say hello to all your community. It was great to be with you today.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you're the same as me. You work really hard too, and I always say that when you're so passionate about work, it doesn't feel like work, does it? Oh, I love it. It's always fun sharing. Oh, thank you. So if you're listening and you have a swim story too, I'd love to connect and explore together and share our swim passions to our parents and our aquatic communities. Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Aqua Sensory Way. It's so nice to have you here tuning in today. Let's connect again soon. I'd love you to find out more about creating sensory harmony in water. Come and join us on our socials and in our community Facebook group, Aqua Sensory Connections.